What's good? It's your boy CJ Goodfella back with the Boxing Clinic. Now, it's still people out here that's hating on Premier Boxing Championship League, and I just think it's what Al Heyman is doing with the sport of boxing. A lot of people come out here and say, well, Al Heyman is this, and Al Heyman is bad for the sport, and Al Heyman is that, but it always seems to be a problem, with him for some reason. What's the problem? He giving you free boxing on NBC, on CBS, on Fox Sports 1, on CNBS, on Sports NBC, even ESPN, who should be making a return very soon, even Bounce TV. You know what I mean? And I understand in the beginning, it was pretty much a touch run in the beginning for PBC. There was a lot of mismatches on. The undercards was a lot better. You had Broner Molina. That was a mismatch. Amir Khan versus Chris Algieri, who turned out to be a mismatch. Sean Porter, after the Kell Brook loss, even fought a mismatch. But towards the end of last year, or the end of to this period, you had a lot of good fights. You had Robert Easton versus Richard Comey, Badou Jack versus James DeGale, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Amir Mansour, Travis Kaufman put on a good fight. So, usually the undercards were better on PBC when it first started, but they're bringing the heat now, And, a lot of people talk bad on Al Heyman because he's the HNIC of boxing, You haven't seen anybody complain about money about Al Heyman like they do with Bobby and Don King. You don't see anybody, complain about anything. Other than Vanes Masarosian leaving Al Heyman. But he wants to be something that he's not. He left Top Rank. He left Al Heyman. He had a shot. He failed. He's just an ordinary boxer at the pro level. He wasn't what he was as an amateur. But at the same time, when Bob Arum is out there struggling, trying to get TV dates with HBO, because they don't even want to put on a particular type of fighter, a knockout brawler, all action type fight, Al Heyman gives you whatever you want, variety of things. You got boxers, you got punchers, you got slick fighters, you got defensive fighters, you got offensive fighters. He giving guys shots out there, and people still complain, about free boxing. And at this point, it's living up to its name in 2017, Premier Boxing. It's the premier stage for boxing, People want to say, well, HBO is better, HBO is that. That's your particular opinion, and I can't change your opinion, but what's so much better about HBO? You have to pay $10.99 to watch it, and then $10.99 on top of $60 to watch the upper echelon so-called fights, the Danny Jacobs, the Triple G, Even you have to pay for Oscar Valdez pay-per-view card now. You have to pay to see Terrence Crawford. With Premier Boxing Championships, on free network television, you don't have to pay for that. Now, some of their cards, it falls on Showtime, They just have, the way the pie is cut, they had to put some fights on Showtime. It's a contract. But if a real upper echelon type of fight, Showtime lets them put it on CBS, or it might be on NBC, it might be on Fox. A lot of people don't like the way Al monopolized the sport of boxing, but it's good, And if people would network and understand what he's trying to do, you would get a lot of more free fights on boxers. You see all the boxing promoters, fuck with Al Heyman. Gary Shaw, Lou DiBella, the rest of them. Yvonne Michaels, I think Adonis Stevenson promoter, who got Arthur Beterbiev as well. And those guys are going to be more popular at the end of the day, and they're making more money than Top Rank. He's feeding them better. And at the end of the day, what's to complain about? It's on free TV. The commentator might not be the best, but guess what? You get different commentators. You get different POVs, point of view, every fight. You might have Sugar Ray on there. You might have Virgil Hunter. You might have Paula Malignaggi on there. James De La Roche came on there. Caleb Plant came on there. So you have different boxers' point of view. So it's something different every time you turn on one of their cards. Versus with HBO, they swing a bias every time. Jim Lampley, Max Kellerman, Harold Letterman, who only likes to see all-out brawls and score for the aggressor every time. Yes, you might get a commercial here and there, but usually during the main events, you don't get commercials anymore. And they're building a brand, and it's becoming better, and people still wants to piss on the PBC brand because it's better. It's flat out better. You get a variety of fights, a lot of fight days, a variety of fighters, and it's occasionally you get a mismatch in the past, but that's starting to change. You know? So at the end of the day, people's issue is with Al Heyman. People's issue is with Floyd Mayweather. Oh, I don't like Floyd, so I'm not going to like PBC or Al Heyman. I'm a top rank guy. I'm a HBO guy. That's what I've been with. But you paying to see subpar boxing when you can get subpar boxing for free on PBC in the past. And now it's Premier Boxing, Abner Mares fights on there. Leo Santa Cruz, Carl Frampton's fought on there twice. Some of your favorite boxers fight on there. I'm not telling you have to pick a side, and that's crazy. Because HBO does have some solid fights on them. Great fights, But they really was going to make you pay for James Kirkland versus Miguel Cotto? You're really going to pay for Canelo Alvarez versus Chavez Jr.? Really? $60? $55? You can get great boxing on PBC for free. So it should be no issues. It's no that I'm telling you to pick sides or anything like that. Absolutely not. Because wherever boxing at, that's where I'm going. But what I'm telling you is, it's no issue. This is the wave of the future. You should be pulling for it to succeed because it's being a lot on your pockets, whether you got it or not. But it is what it is. It's your boy CJ Goodfellow with the Boxing.